Welcome to Dysfunctionally Yours, the podcast where we embrace the chaos, laugh through the struggles, and find hope on the other side of trauma. I'm your host, Brittany, and if you've ever felt like your life was a beautifully messy roller coaster of dysfunction, trust me, you're in good company. Here, we'll have real, raw, and sometimes ridiculous conversations about mental health, relationships, and healing, because let's be honest, life isn't always pretty, but that doesn't mean we can't come out of it stronger and maybe even smiling. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of bubbles, and let's navigate this wild journey together, dysfunctionally, but never alone.
Welcome back, friends, to another episode of Dysfunctionally Yours, where the humor is free therapy and the healing gets real. And sometimes we realize that our trauma response has been out here doing personality assessments for other people. Yikes. I am your host, Brittany. Today, we're going to be diving into things that I used to label red flags, only to find out that they are just people being human. Imagine that. But first, let's just clear the air on a couple different things. So first and foremost, last week I talked about the dead cow versus leather. I believe that I heard it off of a different podcast. So I'm trying to find that episode so that I can confirm that, but that's what I think. I heard it off of a different podcast, like them talking about it, and I was like, that's hilarious. And then it just did the thing in my brain that it does. But I got so much response on that, ranging from like, Brittany, I know you know better than that, down to the very scientific reasons of, well, like dead carcass and, leather that's been treated. I know that. Bro, I know that. And then so I'm glad that you got a humor. I'm glad that you got a good haha out of that, because that's what we're here for. Genuinely, I'm glad I could put myself out there for you like that. The other part, I talked about the picture of Margs, and I'm not going to tell you who I had this conversation with. She knows who she is. But she very much was like, how did you not know this? How did you not know about a picture of Margs? And also, where have you been living? Like, clearly under a rock. But also, why don't they do pictures of other things? Actually, first she was like, do you know about beer, Brittany? Do you know that they do pictures of beer? What? What is beer even? I don't even know. No, but then the conversation evolved into like, why don't they do pictures of other things? I don't know, picture of Jack and Coke, anyone? Yikes, danger, Will Robinson. But it was funny nonetheless. So I'm glad that Deep Thoughts by Brittany and Brittany's random life experiences was able to give everybody a little bit of a little bit of a chuckle. That's amazing. That's amazing for all of us. So with that, let's jump into an ache and relief. My ache of the week, still no kitty. She gone. I hate it. I'm sure it's going to be fine. I keep having people be like, my cat showed up after 3 months. I wish she would. It has been 13 days. 13 days since you looked at me. What is that song? Something, I have to say sorry. All right, anyways. My relief of the week is it's my birthday. What? No, literally today, right now, it's my birthday. Cheers to me. Cheers to me. Cheers to you. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Can I tell you this conversation I've been having? Because in case you don't know, I'll educate you a little bit. In case you don't know, I am a Leo, horoscope wise. If horoscope's not your thing, bear with me. But like, if it is, you're like, duh, Brittany, we knew that. So anyways, it's my birthday, and I've had all of these conversations about July Leos versus August Leos. And I was like, well, obviously, August Leos are real Leos. July Leos, no disrespect, but you're fake Leos. That's not real. That's a whole different breed. Well, I saw a TikTok I saw a social media post somewhere, and this guy was breaking down the differences between July Leos and August Leos. And I'm like, oh, see, yeah, that's true. I feel the same way. It's different. And then I go to the comments, and all the comments are talking about, like, oh, well, no, Leos are Leos, like through and through. It doesn't matter if you were born in July or August. We'll come to find out the Leos that are saying it doesn't matter are the Leos born in July. And then the Leos that are born in August are like, no, bro, it matters. Like, it's a thing. It's a thing. I have to agree that it is. So I went to work and I was talking to one of the girls on my team, and she does all of the, she's into all the horoscopes or whatever. And so I'm talking to her, and she's like, I don't think you can use fake Leo. Like, fake Leo sounds, we don't love it. Hey, cat. There's a cat. Hello, little kitty. Thanks for coming to the podcast. We have a guest. Anyways, she's like, I don't think that you can use fake Leo. What's it called when you pretend to be something that you're not? And I was like, imposter. She was like, yes, use imposter. Imposter Leo? That sounds horrible. Also, all of my July Leos, I love you so much. And also, we're not built the same way. And that's okay. Who is? Who is? Nobody's been built like me. My brother said that one time. I have a video of him saying, no one's built like me. I wear designer jeans. I have a video. It's hilarious. You guys would never appreciate how funny it is. But R.I.P. Chase. Anyways, so that's where we are. It is my birthday, and I'm excited. And yay for birthdays. I hope that if you also have a birthday, that you are excited about it, because birthdays are a good time. And celebrate yourself. So, with all of that, before we get into it, I want to preface this, right? Because we're talking about red flags. Red flags. We're talking about red flags. And some red flags are still red flags. They are still red. They are still waving. They are still saying, run for the hills, girl, boy, bro, sis, whatever. Run as fast as you can. But others are like, they're not necessarily red flags. Maybe it was just that, like, at that time in my life, your life, our lives, we just weren't surrounded by enough regulated people. And now that we're surrounded by more regulated people, we're like, oh, or let's be honest, maybe I was the problem. I've talked so much about myself on this podcast. Imagine that. But like, hi, broke into somebody's house and went to bed. Hi, plate smashing is a thing. So like, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm aware. I'm self-aware. That's what it's all about. Like, growth, self-awareness. Let's grow. Let's be better. Let's do better. So, maybe I was the red flag. And then with a little bit of healing and growth, we're like, oh, well, we can be better. We can be different. We don't have to be the same person we were last week, right? So anyways, let's jump into red flag rehab. It's catchy, right? That's catchy. So, things that I swore were red flags but weren't, like maybe they're a beige. Also, I don't know why we're using a beige flag, like red flag, green flag, beige flag. Beige is such an ugly color. Like, I don't know. I don't know that I love that term that society has picked as like a beige flag. Why can't it be like a lavender flag? I mean, it could be. I can make it be what I want. Anyways, so things I swore were red flags at that time, but they weren't. Not texting me back immediately. Past Brittany, if you did not text me back immediately, instantaneous spiral. Like, you might get 5 minutes, but if you did not respond back to me in this 5 minutes, oh no, we're going to unleash the Kraken and enter rapid fire texts that are like, what do you think? What about this? Did you hear this? Did you get this? Are you busy? Are you this? Are you that? And also, is that a red flag? Isn't that yikes? That actually sounds like more of the red flag than anything, if we're being completely honest. I have to plug things in. Hold, please. Do 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 do. All right. Nope. Good enough. Good enough for me. That's good enough for me. Okay. So, right. So maybe past me was actually the red flag when it came to not responding to me. Present me is very much like, oh, maybe you're busy. Maybe you're at work. Maybe you needed a break. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you just, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I think come into like present me when it comes back to not responding to me immediately in a text. Like, it's just not a thing. Like, and if it's urgent, genuinely, if it's urgent and I need a response, like we're planning something or I need a response, I know how to pick up a phone and dial. Like, let's be honest. Like, if it's urgent, I'm going to get my answer. And if it's not urgent and you're just not responding back to me, God forbid you be busy, right? So no longer a red flag. Like, look at that growth. Other red flag, they said that they needed space in any capacity. Instantaneously in a different world, saying that they needed space for me would have very much meant that they hate me. I need space, Brittany. Oh, you hate me. Why do you hate me? Like, this woe is me. That you're obviously breaking up with me. Space, breaking up. That's all that we have to do at this point. We're just breaking up. There's no way to rebound from space. Which, okay. Ignoring my feelings, like you being like, I need space, is automatically in my brain at that point in time being like, you're ignoring my feelings. You're not hearing my feelings. You don't care about my feelings. You are dismissing me. Or that at the end of the day, you just don't care. You don't care what I said. You don't care to resolve it. You just genuinely do not care. And those are such big labels to put on people, right? Like, without any context, somebody just being like, I need some space. I need a minute, to be like, you don't care about me. How wildly, again, maybe that's my red flag. But just how wildly, like, that leap is such a big leap. And I think I have to admit, if I look at myself personally, and I don't know you, I know me, but if I have to look at myself personally, chaos felt like connection. And so I'm trying to have a conversation. I feel like it's important. I have all of this trauma that I've talked about for all of this podcast, right? And so at this point, maybe you're not responding to this, but like, if I'm rapid fire texting you because you didn't respond, now I've created chaos and now you are responding to me, and chaos feels like connection, even though it's not healthy connection. It's not happy connection. These aren't positive conversations, and actually nobody wants to have them, and it's probably doing more harm than good, right? But we are who we are, and so chaos can feel like connection. And forgive us for our unhealed selves. Also, possibly, like, somebody else not trauma dumping on day 3. Like, I am such an open person. Granted, some would say too open, but I am such an open person. And so it's like, oh, you're not willing to open up. You're not willing to be vulnerable. I'm being vulnerable. You don't want to be vulnerable. And you don't want to open up to me. You don't want to have this conversation. And so that was like a red flag. And it's kind of like, okay, is that a red flag? Or is it just that somebody has healthier boundaries? Is it just that somebody's a little bit more reserved? Is it, I don't know, that somebody doesn't have a bunch of trauma to dump? Like, again, maybe I'm the problem. Or maybe somebody's not ready. Maybe somebody has their own issues, right? God forbid somebody else have their own issues. Maybe somebody is coming into this situation with trust issues and they're like, I don't want to put all that out there just yet. I don't want to talk about that because trust, some people are hard. Trust is hard to earn, right? And that's real. That's absolutely real. That could be a red flag, or it could again just be that somebody is human. Imagine that. They weren't available 24/7. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not available 24/7 to me? What do you mean you didn't respond to me? The audacity that you have that you did not respond to me whenever I text, right? I am now available to text, and so therefore you should also be available to text. And that's not actually how that works at all, not even a little bit, but also maybe people have really full lives, kids, friends, work, school, extracurriculars, anything like that. Maybe people have very, very full lives. They just can't get back to you right away. Or when they do have their own downtime, they're like, oh my God, I just need my peace. I just need to not be on. I just need to not constantly be on for other people. And so I'm going to protect my peace a little bit. So I'm not responding. Or maybe they're just also not codependent. It is shocking to think that there are people in the world that are just not codependent people. What do you mean? How did they get there? Who are these people? Can I get to know them? Kidding. Also not. There was also a moment in time where if you disagreed with me, red flag, because these are my feelings, and my feelings, they've got to be right? You can't tell me that my feelings are wrong. But there is a difference between disagreeing with a situation and disagreeing with my feelings, and, being able to communicate effectively to understand the difference of like, hey, we don't have to feel we don't have to feel the same way about a situation. And we can, in fact, agree to disagree. You can have your feelings about this situation. I can have my feelings about this situation. And it doesn't always have to be a problem at all, right? Like sometimes you can disagree. People don't have to be 100% on board with you. I will give this example. I know whenever I was married to my kid's dad, I had this very no drinking policy, which wild, I know. No drinking. It was not allowed. I genuinely believed that you could not have children in a family and also consume alcohol. Like there was no in between. There was like one side of the spectrum or the other. Given where I came from, naturally that makes sense, right? I grew up with alcoholics and drug addicts and things like that. So it's like, no, obviously that doesn't work for raising a child. And the boy's dad grew up not that way. There was drinking in the house. Nobody was a raging alcoholic. Like it was a healthier world that he was raised in. Thank goodness, right? And I didn't see that, but I was very much like, no, we can't have these kids and drink. So we will never, ever, ever drink in this house with these children at all. Pick your family or pick alcohol. There were disagreements there. But I was so stubborn and I'm like, no, I'm going to double down on this. And, over time you learn, right? Some red flags, they're not red flags. They're our trauma. But honestly, like, let's be for real. Have you ever listened to people talking? They're like, oh, I was with so-and-so for 6 years before we ever got in a fight, before we ever got in a disagreement. And I'm like, first of all, fights and disagreements are different. They are not the same. But honestly, if you always agree with me, always agree with me at this point in time in my life, if you always agree with me, one of us isn't necessary. Like one of us is not necessary in this relationship, and it better not be me. I'm necessary. Just saying. So I feel very differently these days. Like disagreeing with me is not a red flag. So anyways, those are just like a couple randoms that popped up whenever I was like building this podcast. But I thought, like, why do we do that? Why do we identify these red flags, whatever they look like? Those are mine. Those don't have to be yours, or those were mine. But here's the thing. We don't wake up thinking, you know what would be fun today? Mislabeling healthy behaviors as abandonment. Somebody setting boundaries is abandoning me. Like, we didn't wake up thinking that. That wasn't the thought process whenever you opened your little eyeballs and your feet hit the floor. We do it because of survival. We do it because somewhere along the way, love meant chaos, or silence meant danger, or being ignored meant begging even harder to be seen. Back to that, not responding to me right away and doing rapid fire texts or whatever. So red flags aren't just about other people's behavior, like towards us, but they're how our nervous system is reading that. And if our nervous system is still running as our 12-year-old, 15-year-old, 20-year-old selves that are very unhealed and very broken and very traumatized from certain situations, then yes, it's gonna glitch. It's going to glitch 100%. Like, have you ever been in a situation, have you ever been in a relationship where, I don't know, you were cheated on and somebody lied to you along the way? You're going to get out of that relationship, and now you're going to have larger trust issues. And those hard walls, those trust issues could easily become red flags to another person, like, right? Because they're impenetrable. And somebody might be like, I can't get through to that, right? Or back to what I originally had said, like, oh, you didn't trauma dump on me right away. No, some people are going to approach situations more cautiously, more guarded. And that makes sense for what they're going through and what they're coming through. And yes, that's going to show up on us as the other person, because there's always two people involved. But it's hard. Both people are coming from their own place, their own situations, their own experiences. And we really need to be better about understanding that it's not necessarily a red flag. It's just an experience or a response that we're having from experiences that have happened to us. So, any poodles. With that, I posted so much this week on the socials that it was fun. These were fun, and I love them. So we have, I posted a bunch on the socials about red flags. Is it a red flag? Is it not a red flag? Where does it land with us? Just a bunch of randoms. So I'll go through those. First, doesn't post on social media, like, at all, right? 91% said, nah, that's fine. It's fine if they don't post on social media. And then 9% were like, yeah, me either. There was really not a beige in there. It was either like a yeah or no. But nobody found that as like a red flag. I think that that's great. And I think that that says a lot about where we are in our worlds, because I know as social media was evolving, that might not have always been the case. It was like, oh no, we're all posting. And people feel differently about social media, rightfully so, as you should. Like, be cautious, do what works for you. Takes a day to respond to texts. 60% of people said that, yes, this is a red flag. If you are taking a whole day to respond to a text message, red flag. Red flag. 10% said, no, it's okay, I take longer. And 30% said, nah, we're all busy. And so I do appreciate the difference in all of that. Me personally, there are days and times where I'm so good, I'm like, I'll respond to you the second that you text me. You text me and I've already responded to you before it even, like, before you could even close your phone out. And then there's other times where I'm like, 3 days later, I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, I just saw this, or I missed this, or I got back to this. So I'm glad that, there's a range in that one, and that one was interesting. But I do think it's important to realize that people are busy And a lot of times, as much as we're glued to our phones, constantly having constant communication and being on all the time is actually really, really, really challenging. The next one was doesn't want to FaceTime each night. 9% said that's a red flag. That's a red flag. 18% said what's FaceTime? I feel that. But like, you don't know, like you didn't watch the Jetsons as a kid and be like, I can't wait to be able to talk to people and see them on the phone just like the Jetsons. Do we know the Jetsons? Am I aging myself? It is my birthday after all. Anyway, and 73% said people are lucky if I answer the phone at all. And that one, that is me. I am her. I'm not 73%, but I am that person. Like, I dislike answering the phone. I am notorious for putting the phone somewhere and not knowing where it is, or for putting it on silent and then getting into it like 2 days from now. I get it. I get that one. But that could never have been me back in the day where I'm sitting there being like, respond to me, respond to me, respond to me. So we evolve as humans. The next one says, I need space. Oh, says I need space to think during a conflict. 11% said red flag. Red flag. 67% said, please do. I want to finish my wine. Please go take some space. I'm going to enjoy this glass of wine while I ponder all of the things I need to say. And 22% said, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I have to think that is such a gray area question, right? I think it's probably not, there's a certain place in there where it's like, it's not avoidance, it's growth. Somebody learning to say, hold on, we need to stop, we need to pause. I can't talk about this in a rational manner right now. Which is probably more where I am in this moment. Like, I don't want to talk about this. I'll talk about it when I can. I need some space. I talked about that even last time with my stepmom. Like, give me a minute. I need to think. I need a minute. And then there's also the possibility that it is just avoidance. So that's a tough one. Some people are gonna say, I need space to think during conflict just to avoid it, get out of it, and hope it never comes back. And then other people are genuinely gonna be like, all right, can we come back to this tomorrow? Like, I'm just not in a space to do it right now. So that one could be both. This is why, like, some flags are red flags, right? It's okay. It's okay. Asking to split the bill on a first date. 82% of people said that this is a red flag. And it was interesting because this was not all female. This was not all male. That was a very diverse population of people that were saying, yeah, it's a red flag either way. So that was interesting to me. 9% said, I'm here for it. And then 9% also said, what's a date? Which makes me laugh because also, same. Like, I'm not going on a date. The last time I went on a date, the guy used Jesus as a pickup line, and that felt very weird. Like, that's why we should be close so our hearts touch, because Jesus lives in our hearts. What? Bro, that's weird. That's actually weird. So I laughed. But that was interesting. The 82% that was very divided between the genders was very interesting to me. Doesn't post you on social media. 55% said this is a red flag. 9% said I respect it, and 36% said that I'm cautiously alert in this situation. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Like, we don't want to jump into the deep end too soon, but also, what is too soon? What does that look like in a timely fashion? It could be that people are just private, and not secretive. So I think I personally believe in a situation like this, it's about intent, and we should never assume ill intent, but we should communicate. We should start having conversations about like what's happening here, It's worth a conversation. Still talks to their ex and they don't have any kids involved. 100% of people said this is a red flag. So unanimous decision, 100% said, if you are still talking to your ex and there are not children involved in any way, shape, or form, red flags all around. This one I have feelings about. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I threw this one in there for my own for my own personal well-being. Is not obsessed with brunch. 70% of this said red flag. And I agree. I agree. It is a red flag. If you are not obsessed with brunch, red flags. Why? What do you even do with your life? Do you not like good breakfast food? Do you not like mimosas? I don't understand. And 30% said it's not all that. This 30% of people that said it's not all that, you are the red flags in the world. You are a walking red flag. Stick a flag on your tail and walk around with it so the whole wide world knows. Red flags. Brunch, epic, wonderful, perfect. I'm gonna go as soon as I'm done with this. I love brunch. And if any of these votes were my friends that were like brunches and all that, do you even know me? Do you even like me? Do you hate me? Are you red flagging me right now? I'm kidding. I mean, I'm not, but I am, and it's so funny. The next one was disagrees with you respectfully. And 100% of people in that one said, I appreciate it. I appreciate good communication. And I love that. I love that people can evolve and mature in a way that's like, yes, we can disagree with one another. And as long as it's respectful and not demeaning or hateful or anything like that, like we can have hard conversations and communicate our needs. And that does not always mean that we have to agree. And I love that. I think that's just such a healthy situation. I definitely had a friend at one point and, you know, very stubborn, very strong-willed, very passionate in his own beliefs, and very much just like, nope, you needed to see it his way or there wasn't another way, and then you were a crappy person if you didn't agree. No, that's not okay. I don't have to agree with you. I can hear you out. I can listen to you. We don't have to agree. It's not that serious. It's really okay. Cancels plans at the last minute. 42% of people said this is a red flag. 8% said good. I didn't want to go anyway. And then 50% said it's annoying, but it's not a red flag. This one I have to have my own personal feels on because it's a pet peeve of mine when people cancel at the last minute in a on a consistent basis. If this is your MO, that you're always late, you're always canceling, you're just not reliable, then yes, I think you're kind of flaky. And so I'm like, yeah, red flag. But I do also understand that because there are moments in time where I'm also that like, good, I didn't want to go. Like when people cancel, I'm like, oh, phew, I wasn't feeling it anyway. I thought I was going to feel it and now I'm not feeling it. And I understand, like we are busy. Life is hard. There's a lot of other things that we've all got going on. And so I think that it could be a lot of things. I don't think it's a black and white. Like all of that can be on a spectrum, right? Like people could be burnt out or people could be enforcing their own boundaries for self-care after they've had a hard day of work or a hard week or, just whatever it is. So keeping true to yourself and your boundaries and what you need can in fact impact other people if you're canceling plans, and it could be at the last minute. So there is the potential that is a justifiable situation. And there is also the situation where you could just be dealing with flaky people. Like both things can be true depending on who you're working with. So I think that's one of those where I go back to that communication piece. Just ask. Just communicate. Just have a conversation. It's okay. It's okay. Just ask and then have a better understanding of where somebody was coming from. I also put in there, like, what is your biggest red flag? Like, your biggest personal red flag? And I got a lot of responses that I had to, that I appreciated. I appreciate how it was translated. Some people were like, no, the red flag for me, like, I don't like seeing this. And other people responded as like, this is my own personal, like, for me personally. So we got doesn't like cats. I am so here for that one. Doesn't like cat. If you don't like my cats, we probably can't be friends, right? I'm with my cats all the time. I have cat hair on me at all given moments of like, I'm sorry if you don't like my cats, they are my world. And same with my dog. Like, my dog is the same. And people will be like, well, I'm a dog person, not a cat person. Well, I am a dog and cat person. And so I feel that one. Trust. Trust. Trust is hard to earn. So that one is, I feel that. Dating or talking to multiple men at one time, multiple people at one time, issue. Isn't and the talking to multiple people at one time, I get that. I get that in so many ways. And then I also know like a younger generation of people that are really like, that's the thing. Like, let's just talk to multiple people and we're just having a good time. We're just exploring options, yada, yada, yada. But then there's like a different group of people that are like, no, like you should give 100% to figure this out. And then if it's not going to be the thing, then move on. So I understand that in both spaces. I feel like in my world, I've tried both of those options. To be honest, neither of them work for me. I'm a crazy cat lady. It's totally okay. Isn't a hard worker? Yes, 100%. You need to have a mission. You need to have a purpose. You need to have ambition. I don't even care what your ambition is. If your ambition is that you want to be in the NBA, then you better be at the basketball court every other moment that you are not at work. Like, go get better. Don't sit on the couch and shove your face with bonbons. Also, I don't even know what a bonbon is. I've never seen one. Don't go shove your face with bonbons and never go practice, but be like, I'm going to be in the NBA someday. How? Go lie to me like I like it. That's goofy. Dishonesty, facts. If you don't have anything nice to say about your exes at any moment in time, that shows me personally this level of emotional immaturity and emotional insecurity. Even in the worst situations, there should, like, yes, you're going to have situations that were bad and maybe you don't have anything to say about them because it was all bad. And also, relationships are two-sided. There are two people involved. And genuinely, if you can't look at some of that and be like, okay, maybe I was the problem, maybe they were the problem, but this is why I was there, it is a red flag to me. You started dating them, especially if you have nothing nice to say about somebody that you were with for like years. What do you mean? Why'd you stay with them for years if you have nothing nice to say? Red flag. Like, red flag. Say, like, hello, let's be reflective in a larger picture. Poor communication skills. Yes. Doesn't cook? Sure. All opposite sex friends. No animals. And being a poor tipper in a restaurant. So those were just some things that came in. And then wears toe shoes. Wears toe shoes? 100% red flag. Get out. Hard lines were drawn in the sand, concrete, walls were built. The Berlin Wall has been re-erected right here on your toe shoes. Do not wear toe shoes. That's weird. Who wears those? Those feel weird. I had toe socks one time. I got them as like a gag gift and they feel weird. I don't understand. So there's all of that. It's fun. It's fun whenever you guys write in with these types of like wild things. So here's the thing. Here's where we are. I get why we're so quick to be able to label everything as a red flag. You weren't being dramatic. You were probably protecting yourself with the only tools that you had. And that's real. And that's kind of, that's where we are in those moments in time. But the truth is, not everyone who pauses is abandoning you. And not everyone who needs space is rejecting you. Some people are just people. Some people are just people and they are messy and we're imperfect, or we're more emotionally involved than that person, right? Like we're all at different levels and different spaces in our lives and our worlds and our journeys, and trying to mesh all of these journeys together. Like people are complex. We are all complex individuals. And at the end of the day, we're all just trying to be. And maybe the healing isn't avoiding every red flag. Maybe it's learning. Maybe the healing isn't in avoiding every red flag. Maybe it's learning which ones mean danger and which ones mean signs that we're not in survival mode anymore. Again, we're allowed to grow. We're allowed to evolve. We're allowed to move forward in our lives. And with that, what a fun episode. New episodes come out. They come out every Monday on all streaming platforms. The YouTube version, it is way less edited, way more unfiltered. So tune in there. You can like, follow, and subscribe if you're into supporting me the same way you support Taylor Swift, as you should be. Hello. And if you want some behind the scenes footage, content, polls, or to yell anonymously into the Google form void, follow on TikTok and Instagram. Until then, don't be afraid to be great. Toodles, poodles, bye. Wait. Into the TikTok and Instagram void. And I will see you next week. And until then, remember that not everything that triggers you is a red flag. Sometimes it's just an opportunity to heal. Until then, don't be afraid to be great. Toodles, poodles, bye.